Hi, I'm Rachel Cockrell. I'm the registrar at the South Carolina Confederate Relic Room and Military Museum. The object I have for you today is a scarf, a silk scarf. It was owned by a man who was killed in the Mexican War in 1847. His name was Thomas Tillman. He served with the South Carolina Volunteers in Shields Brigade, and that was part of Quitman's division. He was killed in the Battle of Churubusco on the 20th of August of 1847, and that's a small hamlet right outside the gates of Mexico City. Now, the records that we have for this scarf are not complete. Unfortunately, we don't have much in the way of date when it came into our collection, but one of the notes that we do have is very interesting. It calls it the blood-stained scarf of James Tillman. You can see that there is some very dark coloration on this light side. This is a two-toned scarf. It is blue and brown. It is a double weave. You can see that it is the opposite pattern on the reverse. And on this brown side, you can see some very dark staining. You can see here where it's turned very dark across the tan or the brown coloration. Without taking this to a lab and having forensics done on it, there's no way of really knowing whether this is blood, and if it is, whether it's Mr. Tillman's blood. But it is one of those legendary things that often happens in museums when the records are incomplete. Stories get attributed to things which may be true, and it makes a good illustration. It is a very fine piece of textile work, and it's in still relatively good condition even after 145 years. We're here today at the Palmetto Regiment Monument on the grounds of the State House here in Columbia, South Carolina. This monument was raised in 1858 to honor the soldiers from South Carolina who fought in the Mexican War. Thomas Tillman's name is on this monument. Now, the battle that he died in was the Battle of Contreras and Churubusco. It was a two-day battle that was fought on August 19th and 20th of 1847. There were 164 Americans killed. There were 865 wounded. Shields Brigade lost 27 men, including Private Tillman. Now, Contreras was a small village near the capital city that was captured during the night of the 19th. Churubusco was the site of a fortified convent about a mile away. Shields Brigade fought on the left wing of the army. It was nearly outflanked and overwhelmed by superior numbers. Shields' command was to secure the road leading from the convent to the capital so as to cut off the Mexican troops' escape. The Mexicans attempted to extend their lines along the road, and their cavalry nearly succeeded. Reinforcements were brought in by Captain Robert E. Lee, who was acting as a courier and scout, even though he was actually an engineer. The Americans under Shields attacked the middle of the Mexican line and fought until the convent surrendered, then chased the Mexican troops nearly to the gates of Mexico City. Shields' troops took 380 Mexican prisoners.